Welcome to this episode of Pass Me the Pork and Mo Money TV. We once again have Daryl Montgomery with us. I'm Alexander Morris. It's been a while since our last update we've done together. Daryl is still holding on strong with his meetups in the city. Maybe you want to give us a little update on how that's been going.
It's been going quite well, Alex. Thanks for having me here, by the way. When we last left off, we had 1,200 members in the New York Investing Meetup, but we now have 2,200. We've grown by word of mouth. This is a large volunteer group of traders and independent investors. And, we've been highly successful. We did our first video with you about the credit crisis in September 2007. And we predicted the credit crisis just before it blew up, and no one had even heard of it or knew what it was. And then we actually predicted the bear market in September 2007. We said stocks are going to peak, and it's you should get out. And indeed, they peaked a few weeks later after we said they would. And then in December 2007, we said a recession was starting, which it did indeed. And 1 year later, the NBER said, "Hey, a recession started in December 2007, but you heard it from them 1 year later." And now, all the things, many of the things we said would happen happened. We predicted Bear Stearns would go under about 8 months before it did. We predicted Lehman's failure. We predicted the problems at Citigroup. We predicted Fannie and Freddie would need government bailouts. They indeed did. So we've had actually dozens of accurate predictions that have come true. We've saved people a lot of money by getting them out of the market when it went down. We actually got them into gold and silver for a while, and they made money there. We became very bullish right around the market bottom several weeks ago. So, people who have listened to our advice have profited quite handsomely, whereas like the average person has lost half the money in their portfolio.
I think a lot of people might have lost even more than that. But what I don't understand is, what made you able to do this so much better than everyone else? CNBC they never seem to catch anything. I mean, you have Jim Cramer, who was telling people to buy the high of the Dow back in 2007.
Well, the media is constantly wrong about almost everything in the market. And you really should ask yourself if why are they concerned about you making money? And why is that person so worried that you should sell a stock or buy a stock? They have no interest in you making money. They have interest in making money for themselves. So it's frequently the case that if you do the opposite of what you see on the financial TV or read in the financial press, you will actually make money, and sometimes lots of money.
What's your perspective on where we are in the market right now? Maybe give us a few ideas of what you're doing, what you're up to, maybe a few stocks that you're looking at. Do you think there's any deals in this market at this point? Or I really haven't heard the media trying to talk anything up at this point. For ages, this is the bottom, this is the bottom, here's another bottom, this has got to be the bottom. And I haven't heard that so much these days. Not yet, at least. Maybe you have some insight you can share.
Yeah, well, Alex, the market hit an important bottom in early March, on March 9th, the U.S. market at least. And this may not be the bottom, but it is a major bottom, and it's quite tradable, and you can make a lot of money. And the good things to buy, we got into oil on February 18th, actually, which was the day of the bottom for oil. And we recommended it to several people. We traded DXO, which is a 200% long oil ETF, and that's quite profitable. And in fact, after we recommended it, almost every stock in the market went down, and the stock we recommended went up. In general, we like oil, commodities, and there's many others. We're interested in shipping right now because these stocks are really beaten down, and there's quick money. We don't think the economy is recovering. Maybe it's recovering very slightly or not going down too much, but this is not. And the media will tell you, without an economic recovery, stocks can't go up. It's not true. This is a big misinformation campaign. The media constantly misinforms the public. What makes the stock market go up is liquidity. And the Federal Reserve, the Treasury Department are pumping huge amounts of liquidity into the financial system. And this can make the market go up even if the economy is going down. It was in horrendously bad shape. And that's my opinion what's happening now. We've not yet got to a point of economic recovery, but a lot of this money is starting to filter into the system and it's causing some rally. We think the rally will sort of run out of energy in maybe around June or so, in a while, and then there'll be another downturn.
So you don't think that we're in the clear quite yet, then? You think down the road in a few months we might revisit much lower prices again?
Well, maybe not lower prices, maybe the same low prices in some cases. The market consists of many different groups acting in somewhat opposed ways. If you look at charts, you'll actually see a lot of commodities bottomed in the fall of 2008, around October to December, and they never hit a new low in March. A number of technology stocks bottomed around November 2008, and they also didn't hit a new low or even come near a new low. And so those stocks may have entered an uptrend that will continue. Mm-hmm. What's causing the big rally at this point is the financials are moving up really fast. This is short covering. There was massive short positions in all these stocks, so any good piece of news, and all that good news is being produced by the federal government. It's not being produced by the market. The government is manipulating the financial system in many ways. And that good news is making, good in quotes, is making the financials go up. They're not any more valuable, they're just as worthless as they were before the government put lots of money into them. So, once the short covering is done, and that can make them go up, that can go on for a while more, those stocks are likely to come back down because they're not more valuable. Now, commodity stocks are going up, oil is going up, even technology is going up, probably because of inflation. The market is predicting inflation. All these groups do well in inflationary environments. And the fact that they actually bottomed when, a while ago, when the economy was actually becoming much worse and other stocks were still going down in winter, early spring, indicates that it's telling you something. The government is printing money. We want to think about as inflation coming, is the government expanding the money supply, and it is, and it's actually printing new money, and it's printing much more money than they're telling you or you're reading about in the newspapers. And, there is no way that the value of the currency for that country can't go down. And when the value of the currency goes down, that's inflation. You'll see many other definitions of inflation. Those are misinforming you. A real, actual definition is the loss in value of your currency. And the dollar is staying up artificially because other currencies are even in more trouble. And so there's some safe haven buying, and also it's being manipulated up. It's not trading in a free market. There actually is no currency market per se, like there's a exchange or a floor. The currency market actually consists of big banks that trade among themselves. All of those big banks have a relationship with the Federal Reserve and can be influenced or controlled by the Federal Reserve. And many of them have gotten lots of government bailout money too, so they could be quite pliable.
On your blog the other day, it was very interesting. You were just talking about how you feel the psychology of the market's changed now since it dropped off back in March. Maybe you'd like to share a little bit more of your thoughts on that, because I think it was very insightful. Just the difference in the way the market was reacting a few days ago versus the way stocks were acting a month ago. It's very telling. In the end, you really want to follow what the market is actually doing now as opposed to what the pundits on television are talking about. They always seem to be behind the eight ball when it comes to giving good, solid advice for what people should do. Perhaps you'd like to talk a little more about that.
Well, the market keeps going up. If you turn on financial TV or read one of the big financial papers, you'll see nothing but negative news, negative news, negative news. And the market goes up that day, and it goes up the other day, and it goes up the following day. When the market is rally, the market wants to rally, it's very in a very bullish phase right now, and nothing would make it go up when it was going down. Even good news, it would still go down. So the tone has changed, and it changed almost overnight. And as a trader or investor, you need to be aware of this. And when you see this happen, you've got to jump on this trend. You can make a lot of money in this trend. It's a lot of opportunity to make 100% returns on stocks in a very short time. but you got to get out. You've got to sell. And you should not pay any attention to the people on TV and the financial reporters.
The banking CEOs saying that now they're making money. It's amazing how people are so ready to just believe everything that they say. The economy is definitely going to come out of recession by the end of 2009. We're definitely seeing more solid earnings coming in this quarter and next and the following quarter. Aren't these the same individuals who lied, cheated, stole, did everything? It's amazing that they're not even in jail at this point. But why are people just so ready to take them for face value? You know, you see the media talking, oh, well, Bernanke said this, but he also said there was no problem for 2 years. Why suddenly listen to him now? And what's changed this incompetence?
Well, nothing's changed their incompetence. Bernanke was incompetent. He did almost everything wrong. He did not see the credit crisis coming. He should have attended one of our meetings. Maybe he would have had more insight. The Federal Reserve mishandled the situation over and over and over again. And now we have a new Treasury Secretary. The old one wasn't great. And the new one seems to be even more incompetent. So the people in charge in Washington have no idea what they're doing, and you shouldn't be hopeful that they will suddenly find out, because they're not going to. And, you know, the FASB, which is the Financial Standards Accounting Board, just changed the rules for banks, which allow them to actually sweep under the rug their losses from all of their subprime bonds, etc. The government pressured the FASB to make this change. So the government is actually encouraging companies to falsify their financials. And this is completely legal, and they're not just stopping them, they should be stopping them from doing this, but they're actually like giving them a complete go-ahead and, you know, tell them clean slate and just do it.
It's unbelievable that they let them get away with this, and this is what got us into this mess. All of these shenanigans, you know, giving money to all these people, all the lobbying.
Well, basically, this is like you have an alcoholic who's like very drunk, so you try to solve the problem
by giving him more alcohol, right?
This is what the federal government is doing. This is how they're approaching this problem. It's not going to work. Also, the government has painted itself into a corner. You know, you can bail out nobody, which is what they basically should have done, and they didn't do that. Or you can bail out everybody. Now, of course, then the bailouts go on and on and on and on, and we're in that situation now. And then when they did bail out Lehman last fall, there was a massive collapse throughout the entire world financial system. So, like, you can't leave, like, you know, any stone unturned once you sort the bailouts. And GM itself could cause a lot of trouble. There's a lot of credit default swaps, at least rumors, that there's huge amounts. And if GM goes bankrupt, those credit default swaps will be in the money. And all the big banks that have been bailed out are the ones that sold the credit default swaps, or the insurance companies. And then they'll have to be bailed out even more than what the cost of bailing out GM would have been. So, I mean, the government policy makes no sense, is completely illogical. And, you know, it's bad enough things are so screwed up, but they seem to be determined to screw them up even more. The purpose of our group is to say, well, the government's screwing up, we know they're screwing up. This is how you protect your assets when this happens, and this is how you make money. Now, a lot of people are not paying attention to that. They've already lost a lot of money in the market. There's a risk of extremely high inflation in the future, and you even hear the word hyperinflation. That may be overstated. But in inflation, you keep cash, you have bank accounts, CDs, bonds, they become worthless.
Basically, what you're saying is the meetup group is past me the pork.
Exactly. We try to turn the tables on Wall Street and the government. You know, we expose their tricks, and we tell you how to use what they're doing against them to make money yourself.
Well, that's great, because that's really what we need, because, you know, people are tired of getting taken advantage of and being walked all over, and as taxpayers having to pay more and more of their hard-earned income just to support all these institutions on Wall Street. It's kind of time to turn the tables around and get a better understanding of what's going on, and how can we make a few dollars ourselves out of all of this. And that sounds like what you guys are really about.
That's our purpose, and that's what we want people to do. And the people who are listening to us are going to come out of the credit crisis a lot richer.
So thank you very much, Daryl, for your time. Anyone in the world actually can check out your blog, and you've been putting more of these videos on YouTube also, and sign up for the meetup if you're in the New York City area.
Okay, thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure.
Steal your money, steal your car. We don't care, you're slaves of